nilisoma mpaka form 3. So nika have to ingilia vitu zenye hazifai at form 2. Nika have kwenda kwa streets. Beshte yangu aliniintroduce kwa prostitution.
Yeah.
Nika have kujiuza, but through hiyo kujiuza tulikuwa na challenges mingi sana. So ikabidi tujiuze tu juu tuna nini,
Amna otherwise. Yeah.
Unaenda leo customer ABCD customer na kutumia venye anataka. Ukirudi unapata una kitu. Unaona?
Like anakutumia na akulipi.
Juu anakuuliza utanipeleka na ni wewe ndio nimekupata kwa street. Hakuna kenye utanifanyia. At first atakuja kuconvince, mtaongea hadi bei. But ukirudi mkishamalizana utoke, hakuna kenye anakupatia. Unapatana kwa mhasho, wengine ndio walikuwa wanakupiga. Unapata unatoka huko kwenye umetoka kwa na dent. So unaona difficulties zenye watu wanapitia hapa nje si rahisi.
Si rahisi.
Ama ulitongozwa na mwenye gari, hizi malori ziko na wenyewe. Mtu unapata amebai gari but juu alikutongoza wakati wa kuingia box. Uko na ile azi. Hauna bahati. Unapata anaweza kuja uze. Ama akuje angoje ufanye kazi, ufanye kuna nani dunia hapa umefanyia kazi. So unapata ni ngumu. Ni ngumu pia wewe kusema hapo kwa sababu pia at some point hiyo jua ya uko sipewa. Siwezi kulala. Nikiingia pale ndani unaweza kuwa mweusi. Hadi mtu akushangae.
We are transforming their ugly experiences into beautiful scars. We just want to tell them, yes, you've been into prostitution, you've been there, yes, it's okay. You went through this, you were abused and exploited sexually. Yes, you exposed yourself to multiple, people and partners. But that one, there's something that they took from you, there's something that got lost at that point, but the real you is still intact. And you can do away with those, like threads and uproot those patterns and still live again. And the capacity is still within. God has allowed you to live. The breath of God. I love what Job would say. Thy breath is still within my nostrils. Despite the loss, something is still intact within you. And that's what RTT is looking at. RTT is looking at what remained after all that stuff. So today, in my beautiful scars, I'm joined by one beautiful girl, as you can see. She's beautiful. I love your smile.
Thank you.
And you're looking gorgeous. Despite the many things that you have gone through, the challenges that you faced in life, you still are brilliant. You still are, great and strong. And I'm happy to meet you today. So kindly talk to us. What is your name? How was your childhood? Where were you born? Where are you raised? And how was your childhood in brief?
My name is Stevian. Ama unaweza majina. So, story yangu ni ati I was once a small girl, living in Dandora. I was born in Dandora, raised in Dandora, still living in Dandora. So, I was raised by my mom and my dad, but waliniacha nikiwa class 6.
Wow. So they passed on when you were in grade 6. Were they sick?
Babangu alikuwa mgonjwa, TB. My mom died out of struggle with cancer. So nilihave to struggle kama msichana. Mwenye niliachiwa pia alikuwa na difficulties zake.
Yes.
But zamani alisimama zamani mpaka penye anaweza fika. Si unajua sisi wanawake, once umeingia kwa life ya mwanaume na mwanaume anakupenda, ana change mind. anaweza cha loved one apende huyo mwingine. So mi yangu ilifanyika hivyo. Nika have to move out nikiwa form 2.
Like umeachwa na your brother, then now ameoa and life imekuwa difficult, ampatani
na huyo bibi yake. Ikabidi ni move out. Nikaenda mabeshti nje. So venye nilikuwa na mabeshti zangu nje, maisha ilikuwa rahisi. Ilikuwa ngumu sana. Nika have to kuingilia biashara zingine zenye hazifai. Unaona, ukienda huko kwa sister yako unapata pia kuna happens down zake unapata.
So you had a sister, ulikuwa na sister yako?
Wetu tuko watano. Nilikuwa na siblings au masista zangu, but ukienda kwa huyu pia huwa kuna issues na bwanake. Ukienda kwa huyu mwingine pia kuna issues na bwanake, unapata umeachana pia na struggle. Ikabidi nikae na beshti yangu. Beshti yangu
bado uko shule unasoma?
Nili drop out nikiwa form 3.
So kutoka grade 6 ulisoma mpaka form 3?
Nilisoma mpaka form 3. So nika have to ingilia vitu zenye hazifai at form 2. Nika have kwenda kwa streets. Beshti yangu aliniintroduce kwa prostitution. Nika have kujiuza, but through hiyo kujiuza tulikuwa na challenges mingi sana. So ikabidi tujiuze tu juu tuna nini,
hamna otherwise.
Unaenda leo customer ABCD customer na kutumia venye wanataka. Ukirudi unapata una kitu. Unaona,
like anakutumia na akulipi.
Juu anakuuliza utanipeleka na ni wewe ndio nimekupata kwa street. Hakuna kile utanifanyia. At first atakuja kuconvince, mtaongea hadi bei. But ukirudi mkishamalizana utoke, kuna kile anakupatia. Unapatana kwa mhash, wengine ndio walikuwa wanakupiga. Unatoka huko kwenye umetoka kwa dent. So unaona difficulties zenye watu wanapitia hapa nje si rahisi.
So at that time uko bado are you still a teenager?
Yes, I was still a teenager. And you through kujiiza nikarudi nikapatana na baba mtoto wangu. Hapo kanipea mimba na kaenda. Ndio tulikuwa tunastay area moja. Nilikuja kumwambia niko na mimba, akubodha. Kushughulika. Ikabidi ni kutoka hapo niende nikae na nchi yangu. Kukana nchi yangu pia si ati kana mtu anaweza furahi kana mtoto wa mtu. Kwangi rahisi. Tu anaweza kwa blood yako, but kuile welcome huwezi jua ni gani. Unaona? Aye najua me I'm so grateful to her kwa sababu alinitake care mpaka nikazaa. Anishughulikia 1 2 3. Maisha pia kwake kaanza kuwa ngumu. Nikasema juu maisha imekuwa ngumu, acha nirudi. Kurudi pia nikaanza kuhangaika. ABCD nahangaika huko. Nikaenda kufanya kazi huko. Venye nilifanya kazi iko rahisi, pia mnanyanyaswa.
Ukapata kazi pale pengine, sasa ukaamua hautarudi tena kwa streets, utapata kazi different.
Venye nilifanya kazi unalipwa so 2, leo so 2 umesimama the whole night. Shika. Kusimama the whole night si rahisi, unarudi mguu zako zimefunga. Yaani hadi unashangaa gai. Hiyo 200 utapanda gari utatembea. But unaona ukiangalia maisha yako unasema heri nitembee. Hapo yeye. Nikaona hiyo ni kunyanyaswa, ikabidi niingie dump site. Hiyo kuingia dump site. Nile imagine unafanya kazi unarudi na 300 kwa nyumba. Uko na huo mtu yako, unataka kumpasa na chakula. But I thank God nilisurvive hapo dump site. Ndio imeniraise na ikiraise mtu yangu.
Hebu tuelezeni, nikurudishe nyuma kidogo. Mkiingia experience yako kama hiyo ya umetoka huko umeingia dump site, ni nani alikuingiza? Maana nimeambiwa kuna uwezi ukaenda tu hivyo peke yako.
downside sisi ndio tunaishi hapo chini. Nikigrow nyakati mamangu alikuwa kwa rahisi kuingia downside kwa sababu kama ulikuwa mtoto na ulikuwa ukionekana na wale watu wakubwa wenye wanafanya downside wako wiko ulikuwa unachapwa kurudishwa. Mimi niliintroduce na bishti yangu akaniambia, Stevian, nimeona struggles zako za life. Nimeona struggles zako za life. Na hizo struggles zenye nimeona kunini badala unafanya downside unapata hiyo 300 yako unajishikilia nayo na kutoa na rent kushinda uangaike nje. Nikasema that's a better thought kwa sababu pale when ni boss mwenyewe
wewe ndo umejiajiri.
Utaenda pale kama utaki kuajiri wako ndani utaokota tu hizi mapincha machupa na nini unaenda unapima unapata pesa hata huko ndani sasa hizi tuna challenges. Unapata mmepatana na mtu anataka kuongoza unapata anaamua kwa mkali
kukunyanyasa, especially now that you are a lady. In fact ningetaka kujua kama msichana young pale dump site, challenges kama hizo zipo na mnakabiliana nazo aje? Maanake mtu amekuwa mkali na anaweza kuamua sasa ile kazi either akutoe ama akulipe vibaya ama hata akutoe kwa site.
So unapata pale kule yes nafanya kazi but juu ulitongozwa na huyo mbosi wako ama ulitongozwa na mwenye gari, hizi malori ziko na kwenye mtu unapata amebai gari but juu alikutongoza kupata kuingia box kuna ile azi hauna bahati unapata anaweza kuja uze ama akuje angojee ufanye kazi ufanye kuna nani dunia yako unafanyia kazi so unapata ni ngumu. Ni ngumu pia wewe kusurvive hapo ndani kwa sababu pia at some point hiyo jua ya uko siku ya siwezi kula. Nikiingia pale ndani unaweza kuwa mweusi ili mtu akuchanganye. Jua ya
na pia
na ya uko ni different. Nasema ngai kwa sababu uko kwa ile risk unaangalia maisha yako na hao watu wengine na human risk na bado kuna hizi toxic unapata kuna hazard zimetupwa umejidunga. Sasa hiyo una pesa na kujipeleka hostel unapata umedungwa na hiyo kitu imekudunga mwenyewe gari pia amepata kupata hiyo pesa ama mwenye hiyo kazi amepata kupata hiyo pesa ama anakuambia leo kumeenda vibaya na venye so inakuwa bit difficult kwa maisha kwa sababu unapata at some point imekatwa mkono imefura uzikani huyu kutu na itafura like for a month imefura juu hata before facilities ziko na hizi nini za free unapata unakaa kwa nyumba sawa
hakuna sasa utoki kufanya kazi
ukiangalia pia kuna mtu kama kuangalia so una kwenda tu hiyo dump site leo mkono yako kama itaingia kama uchafu itazidi kuingia kwa hiyo kidonda iingie tu lakini
now you are unakuwa una risk maisha yako
unapata hiyo kitu yako at least mtoto amekula na at least unaangalia pia watu wengine pia unaangalia nini kwa society si kila mtu anakwenda committed kuchukua mtoto yako unapata ni a bit difficult kwa sababu unapata kwa society unakuwa imekuwa kando
umetengwa
umetengwa wewe uko tu juu unaitwa chokora wewe ni chokora so mtu anaona like huyu anafanya kazi huko so anaweza nibia kitu yani mtu anakuweka anakustate design nyingine ukiangalia either wewe ni mwizi wewe ni prostitute yani ushaona all sort of bad things unaweza kuwa una categorize design nyingine yenye hata wewe mwenyewe ukiexplain
ukitembea huko una feel like you don't belong to the society you are different
wewe mwenyewe ukiexplainiwa unajishtuka unapata gani sikuwa naamini mtu anaweza mbeba hivi na sikuwa najua future yangu itakuwa so unapata mtu anakuwa na regrets anakuwa drug addict like mimi ilibidi niingilie miraa, pombe, ni smoke. Juu imagine society venye inakufeel, unasema the only comfort that you have is that
ni kwa hizo drugs. Yes.
Lazima kuna miraa upate unajinunisha sometimes uko tu.
Una find company in yourself.
Ukiangalia mimi nilienda hiyo juu depression juu nilikuwa naona kwa society. I'm just there because I'm there. Mtu akuchukulia ni kama ni mtu wa maana. Mtu anakuchukulia kama wewe uko tu. Wewe ni others. Watu wakiitwa wewe hata ufai kutokea. Unaona?
How does that make you feel?
Kuna venye unaweza feel. Mimi kivyangu nilikuwa na feel nikaa na bebo ni kama mtu hayuko. Shuna mtu mwenye anahesabiwa kama watu wamekufa. Nilikuwa na feel hivyo, but the moment nimeingiza hiyo miraa kwa mdomo, I'll pass you. I don't care the way you will judge me. Ama kwa nini. So nilikuwa naona my only friend, you know. Na through that nilikuwa napata. Yes, nilipata comfort. Dakula jaka kuanzia saa 9 mpaka saa 8 usiku. Nilalaza dakika 2 niingie kazi. Nikiingia kazi najiuliza jana nilikuwa nakula nini? Nilikuwa nakula nini? Na mtoto wangu hajapata hiyo sababu ya hiyo. But utaangalia the positive way, tena urudi uangalie the negative way. Utaangalia anyway. Hata nikifikiria hii positivity hakuna kitu. Unaona?
So like how long did you use drugs? And drugs, what kind of drugs were you? Like miraa, alcohol, you're taking alcohol?
Smokes. Cigarette, kuna cigarette iko worries.
Wow.
Nimevuta.
At your age.
Nimevuta.
So where do you smoke from? Like openly, you're walking around to smoke? Or do you do it? Do you hide yourself in a place and smoke?
Okay, kuna account nilikuwa navuta like
yes.
Mwenye nilikuja kujigundulia nikianza process.
Huyo kuchange sasa.
Unaona? Picha ndio nione. Najificha nasema wacha nivute kidogo. At least mind ifanye nini?
Ifunguke. So how long did you do that? Have you stopped or you still like into that?
Okay. Niliacha pombe. Nimeacha kuvuta.
Wow.
Janga nimeng'ang'ana nayo. At least sasa hivi naweza kwambia. Kwa wiki naweza kula once. Kama kwa mwezi.
That's a great improvement.
Unaona? Nasemanga mimi kenye nilifanya niache nijui hiyo damset. Nilikuja niko na ido 300 yenye napata kidogo. Chini ongeze mko. So the more na kwa busy, the more na kwa hiyo time ya kuendezo tu. So nikaona kama nimemaliza wiki bila kula jaba, mbona nisijitrain? Nikaenda kwa health facility, wakaanza kunipatia guidance and counseling. Ndio nikaona at least naweza acha drugs, naweza ishi bila drugs, unaona. Nikaanza kujitrain kuacha. Hata nikaacha pombe na nikaacha jamii sio kabisa. Kwenye mitu imebaki ni jaba na ndio na fight nayo.
Na hata hiyo utashinda. Ulishinda
smoking.
Umekula ng'ombe yote utashindwa na mkia, si ndio? Umejaribu sana Stevian, and we are so proud of you, at least with that kind of improvement. Kabisa unafanya kazi nzuri na pia you are very hardworking, I can see, and that's really good. Na kuchagua kwenda kufanya kazi ama kwa tu pale, japo mazingira si rahisi, lakini ukachagua tu kwenda dump site and then kuliko kuingililia vitu zingine na pia kutoka kwa hiyo biashara ya streets, you know, it is something that really is positive. Na sijui msichana mwenye anakuangalia pale anapitia magumu kama wewe, ama childhood yake imekuwa, you know, haijakuwa mzuri sana, unaona, like hana wazazi venye uliachwa na wazazi ukiwa mdogo, anashangaa atafanya nini. Advice yako kwake ni gani?
Mi advice zenye uzapatia mademu sana sana wa ghetto ni moja. Usiangalie umetoka ghetto, usiangalie ati nini comfort yako inatoka kwa drugs. Angalia hiyo talent uko nayo. Na once uko na talent inalipa. Naona na hard work pia pays. Ukiangalia wasi wengi wametoka ghetto na talents through their talents. So mimi naambia msichana kujuza si solution. Unaona kuna solutions zingine. Yes, unaweza kuwa single mom but you can still make it in life. Unaona unaweza ingia dump site tuseme nitafanya dump site for like 3 months. Upate capital ya biashara ufanye. Huwezi kuwa hapo forever. Unaona na bado ukapata mtu mwenye anaweza kushika mkono akusaidie, you can still be you. So mtu asiseme ati juu nataka ghetto, wacha niishi maisha ya ghetto. Wacha nikueleze best because I'm a ghetto girl. That's a name. Be you. And trust your talent. You will make it in life.
Oh, thank you. That's quite profound. What skill do you have? Kuna skill yote umelearn?
Okay. Mimi I'm mostly talented in hairdressing. Najua kusuka.
Wow, unajua kusuka? Umejifunza ama ulienda shule?
Talent.
Your talent too. Wow.
I'm based on kushuka. Nashuka. But nilikuwa ningepata mfadhili mwenye ananisaidia anaweza fanya nisome cosmetology.
Wow. Umeita nini?
Cosmetology.
Yes.
So naweza sikia poa sana na at the same time sema I'm a woman of all chores.
Yeah.
Naweza fanya kazi yoyote.
Great. Biashara ni kama biashara gani unaweza penda? Although pia hairdressing ni biashara. Ukipata mtu anaweza kukuwekea salon unaweza suka.
Naweza shuka vizuri sana. Nikipata mtu aniambie ati anaweza niemploy kwa biashara tena kama kuuza manguo, chakula nini. I'm good with people. Na sina ile attitude.
Unaonekana hauna attitude. You have a very sweet spirit. I love that.
Sina that attitude that nitakufukuzia customer mani.
Wow.
I can do it.
Awesome, Stevian.
Number is 0798 43 92 94.
Rudia tu.
0798 43 92 94.
Okay. Asante Stevian, so we are grateful. Thank you for coming to My Beautiful Scars. Tunajita My Beautiful Scars. A quick review of Stevian's experience. That is quite something. It's such a rough terrain for Stevian. I mean, like, that experience is awful. And at times we look at an adult and we make judgments. We say this is who they are. At times we use the words like ill-groomed, ill-cultured, bad behaved, and we draw all sorts of conclusions about them. But then underneath the behavior, underneath the worldview, underneath the mindset, underneath who they are actually, is, are threads of experiences, are threads of occurrences and experiences that left some marks in their lives. And they're actually projecting that because what they went through wrote their worldview, wrote their journals, and that is what they keep on replaying every other day. And we are looking at a very young girl here, who is orphaned at a tender age. And I just want to talk to you guys who talk about slum girls, slum boys, and or maybe you go through slums like Dandora, and you experience a lot of crime. You are afraid. You are not sure whether you'll get out of that place with your clothes and your phones and everything else. You actually are afraid of even passing through Dandora, slums like Kibra and all that. The reason here is just because of the children, the people, the residents, the young people, and the people who are raised in a slum, in those slums, who reside there. And I want us to take a quick look at borrowing from Stevian's experience. People who are born in a slum area, and some parts of the slums are quite aggressive, they are quite violent, they are quite, like surrounded by normalized. There are places that where drugs are normalized, like you have to take drugs to live. And this is just for numbing of pain, shame, guilty, suffering, tears, disappointments, dreams cut short, and all manner of things, poor housing, poor education. We talk about scarcity of resources. They are not able to put food on their table. They are used to seeing crimes. They internalize that, and they know that this is it, and there's no other life they know. And we actually condemn and judge them, which is okay. Such vices should be condemned. But again, we need to look beneath the threads beneath, and see what actually is happening in their lives. So my tour or RTT's tour to Dandora actually unveiled a lot of stuff. The environment, right from the environment, the upbringing of these children, most of them actually have just grown up in the dump site collecting plastic things and, metal pieces, and waiting for the trucks to bring the, the garbage, and then they get into the garbage, any leftover they eat. It is quite pathetic. They pick the paper bags, the carrier bags. Some of them are collecting, different things. Because she even talked of, they collect even the remains, they eat some, and others, they actually go sell as food for pigs. So you can imagine that kind of environment. And this person, you're talking of war, and to them, that is not a big deal, because they are talking of violence that is around the dump site, and also the environment that they are raised in. So I just want to bring something to your ears and write something, a fact to your ears, although it might not be easy for you to accept this, that some of these children and the kind of life that they are living is not their choice. It is just they are victims of circumstances. They found themselves in such an environment. They found their parents abusing drugs. They found their neighbors doing the same. They found their neighbors into crime. And they also found them into all manner of stuff. And to them, it was like a normalized way of life. And that's why they are what they are today. And RTT, being a mental health organization, we are just getting into their lives to show them the other side of life. And just to walk them through their psychological terrain and help them understand where, the rain began beating, and show them the missing link, and also support them with therapy, with counseling, so that they can come out of that kind of environment, in the environment, the worldview, and also see life in a different way, and at least find purpose, find value in their lives, and maybe live that other life that they see on the TVs, with people who are groomed, people who are composed. To them, there's nothing like peace, because they have never known peace. And actually, the violence within us been internalized as the norm. And they know for you to survive, you have to be a little bit violent and aggressive, which actually leads them to a lot of mental disabilities. And from Stevian, we have learned a lot of things that we can maybe pick. Now, but I want to note something briefly, that Stevian was orphaned at a very tender age. I want you to see that. She was barely a teenager, and teenage is a very crucial stage of development. It's actually part of the last part of formative years, whereby now they are forming identity, they are forming autonomy. A lot is happening within them. The brain is still taking shape, developing, but unproportionally, because now the logic brain is a little bit suppressed by the emotional brain. The limbic brain is growing very fast. And to them, at teenage, it is about emotions. It's about emotions without the logic, the wisdom, the wise brain is suppressed a little bit, because there is an overwhelming production of release of emotions, feelings. And to them, life is about feelings. It's how the feelings, it's how I wake up. It's about how where I'm being driven to. And they seek a lot of, feeling good. They seek to excite the dopamine within them, anything that thrills them, anything that vibes them, whether it's a drug, whether it's a dance, whether it's wherever, whether it's a friend. And that's when you find peer pressure setting in and really playing a very crucial role, because we thinking the same and feeling the same, and we know how to excite ourselves. Anything, sexual pleasures and all that. they want to go for anything that excites their dopamine, because in that stage the emotional brain is overtaking every other thing around their lives. There's a lot of mood switch. There's a lot of stuff, and they want their space at the same time. And it's about autonomy, because we are young adults, it's not that they are saying that, but it's a stage. The stage demands so. And therefore, at teenage, there is need for support. There is need support. Being a caregiver, or you're a caregiver or a parent, kindly understand that you need to give these people support. Are you a teacher? Are you, like a mentor? What these people need is support to navigate that autonomy, to form, like secure, to attach securely, to form healthy relationships, and also to have the right identity, like form the right identity around themselves. So because of that, the parent or the caregiver plays a very crucial role. And now looking at Stevian lost a parent. She's orphaned. And before the parents departed, actually, there was a moment of sickness, because the mother had cancer and the father was as well and was also sick. And so she's this girl that has witnessed sickness, has seen her parents die. She watched at that tender age her parents depart, and now to children, there's nothing like this person just died. They feel like they are left alone. So there's loneliness and insecurity that sets in. And now, being left in the hands of the brother, for sure we know that the brother can never play the role of the parent. The brother is different from the parent. What she got from the parent, she definitely cannot get from the brother. And we've heard these statements from many of them when they are orphaned, and then they feel like the people around them are not concerned. Amutupendi, like you don't like us, you don't love us. Like you treated me like this because my daddy died, because I'm an orphan, that's why you're doing this and this to me. Sometimes you could be doing your best. But then I want you to understand that that child is still grieving. They're still grieving the loss of the absence of their parents. The gap that was left cannot be filled just like in a day. It just takes time. They have to process that grief. So kindly understand them. And where possible, you can even commit them to somebody who can counsel them and support them. Because we assume that children don't grieve. We assume that teenagers have nothing to do with grief. But these people, the emptiness, that the vacuum that is left inside there can totally distort their worldview and can totally, affect their attachment, styles. They can feel like the world is shattered, because like what was the world to them, a secure world to them, is no longer there. And so everybody is against them. They start feeling like nobody loves me. So without blaming or apportioning blame on the brother, because she's like when the brother got married again, she feels like the brother doesn't love her anymore, like before, which is okay, because again the attention has to be divided, And so that feeling of rejection comes in again. So maybe Stevian was not rejected, or she was rejected, but according to her, she was rejected. Because now, again, being a girl, she needs a love, she needs care, she needs attention. Again, teenagers need a lot of attention, by the way. They just want to come hug you, especially if you're a mother and you have a son, just hug them. And she totally lacked that, because now another person has come in, and actually you could hear her blame the wives, the wife to the brother, because that they were not coping. The truth of the matter is that they cannot be, because she's looking at a person who can be like my mother and my father. And these people cannot be found in a brother and the sister-in-law. It's hard for you to deliver as their parents delivered, even if their parents were not rich. But that sense of belonging and identity was quite crucial. And so those who are handling orphans, or anytime we come across children who have lost their parents, kindly I pray that you find grace to even be a safe, space for them. Just hold some safe space for them, and let them grieve. When you hear such statements, don't get worked up. Instead, understand, and then find a way of supporting them. Because now what follows this is quite devastating. We are seeing Stevian getting into she actually opts to go to her friend. The friend accommodates her. And she's still in school. In Form 2, the friend is now like, there's no money for school fees, there's no food to eat, there is, like poverty again, lack, scarcity of resources. It's now contributing to now this girl finding an option. And then the only thing that was available at that time is prostitution. So the friend introduces her into prostitution. And my goodness, at that age, Form 2, starting selling your body at Form 2. That is the most devastating and destructive thing ever. The recovering from that wound, because like it's going to have this, having sex with these human beings who are quite different. I mean, like of all ages at Form 2. And actually we've seen her dropping from school at Form 3. It is quite devastating for this girl. I mean, like at first it could appear like we're just getting money, but even if that person was to get millions, it will still haunt her. She's compromising on her identity. She's compromising on a lot about, actually that is the point where now she lost everything. Any little thing that was inside her got lost at that point. And we had her talk about going into depression at that point. And especially now that she's been abused, misused, sexually exploited, and sometimes this client would come, sleep with her, do a lot of stuff with her, and then they just like even beat her up and even abuse her, and like, you just a prostitute. There's nowhere you can take me. I found you in the streets, and I found you in the club. You're waiting for this, and they're not paying you, and you don't question them, or they use you and then they beat you up. Now think about the trauma. And this is the story with so many girls who have been into prostitution, and also many people who have been into prostitution. Ask them. Nobody sits down and live a normal life. Nobody appreciates that kind of business. They don't. At first they could appear like this is good, and they can dress like, and it's something nice, but inside, these two people are actually, like they're losing themselves. And this is now what makes the feeling of nothing, I'm nothing, the shame that comes with prostitution, the guilty, I mean, like that dirty, I am dirty, I don't belong to the society, all those, like mental schemas that come with that. The money I'm getting is not good, and and especially that bit of having sex with so many partners. I mean, that thing is devastating. I mean, it's such a bad one. And so because of those feelings compounded, the girl gets into drugs. So you see things are graduating, like gradually. And now she's into drugs. And now that's where now she lost everything. Because now I can't cope with this. I did not process the grief of my parents. I did not process this rejection. I dropped from school. Somebody impregnated me. And they abandoned me with a baby to take care of. A pregnancy to take care of. And a baby after that to, handle. She's still very young. I mean, like, she's still a teenager. She's confused. Actually, she doesn't know, like, what is happening. I think that's identity confusion and a lot of things. Then you become a mother. And you are all alone. Another rejection, abandonment by parents. Look, not abandonment, but the absence of a parent. The abandonment, in quotes, by the brother. And now here another guy is like, I will marry you, gives her, she gets pregnant, and the guy also leaves. And you are likely to see, you've seen a pattern that is likely to make this person come up with some conclusions that I am like this. I'm not lovable. I'm not the best. Like, I don't fit. And we heard from Stevian that we don't belong to the society. The society sees us like, labels us like criminals, we don't belong. And very painful of the statements that I heard from Stevian is that we are just like dead people in the society. Because actually it's hard for you to convince somebody to employ somebody from Dandora. It's really like, you're afraid when you think of Dandora, you think of these slums, And there's that perception that nothing good can come out of that. So stigmatization from the society, the labeling, and all that. Like when you mix all these things together, and she's like, the society treats us like dead bodies. I don't feel like I belong. Then what does she do at that moment? From her own mouth, she used to take drugs and chew mirror and just get drunk. At least that she'll forget the pain and the disappointment and the shame and the rejection and all these things for a while. Then adding to the fact that she doesn't have food for the child, and all these things come together, and the world shuts up and she doesn't know what to do. And so I just want to bring this for the purposes of education, so that we can know actually, or anybody who is going through that, get to understand that it is not really that this is what I choose. It's not like when you're presented with two choices and I choose this, and they choose prostitution instead of a job. Nobody can do that. It's quite demeaning. It's quite demeaning. And so because of all that and the feeling of shame and I am useless, this baby gets into drugs. Now, she said that she did that, and that is true even from psychology, as a coping mechanism. That was a coping mechanism to just numb the pain, the unprocessed trauma, the unprocessed grief, the shame, the guilty, and everything that Stevian has gone through. She just had to get into drugs. And she will use cocaine, she will use bang, she will just sniff all these things and smoke and feel like for once I can forget. And then I recall what she said, that nitakupita kama sikuja kuona. Like even if you gossiped, I'll not even pay attention to what you're saying about me. Like how you guys are seeing me when I'm walking on the street. That is something in the heart of Stevian, telling her that when you're walking in the street, the world is calling you a prostitute and seeing you as nothing and all that. The schemas are so loud inside her, and she feels like, because that is how I'm seen, then let me just like be a little bit abnormal and smoke. And then when I'm passing by these people who hate me, I feel nothing about that. And it's not that the people are looking at her and saying this is a prostitute. No. It is not true. It is just that in her mind she feels rejected. In her mind she feels nothing. In her mind she feels like she has failed enough times according to her. Until she feels like that is how the world is looking at me. There is some truth in that. But again, you don't get into the street and everybody knows you. Even those who don't know you, they are talking about you. So it is just a schema that is really ruling her heart, and that unfortunately affects people a lot. And those are some of the things that I really wanted to highlight to us. And understand that you need to support people when you see them like they are getting into such unhealthy or maladaptive coping mechanisms. That was a coping mechanism, and unfortunately it doesn't solve any problem. It worsens the situation. And we are seeing now from the drugs and all that, this girl gets into depression, unfortunately. Oh my goodness, I want you to imagine that is your own sister, your own brother, your own son, your own daughter, who is going through this series of experiences and issues. And I want us to just change a little bit our mindset and have some mercy for them and just show some compassion. And if you're in a position to help them in any way, you just come on board and help them. What RTT is doing majorly is to just give them psychological support, the psychosocial support, counseling, and also we're doing empowerment programs, like we engaged in climate change activities, to just like as you change the climate, as you bring some positive, outlook of an environment that was, had thorns and all that, and you transform that environment by either planting trees or maybe a place that was going through erosion and all that, and we've done something, we beautified the environment, and we have done some renovation here and there. That is also like speaking a lot that it is also possible to transform. So we are using climate change activities, like sports, arts, skills, talents, and all that, to just bring out something in these children. Like tell them, okay, you felt you have nothing, but the capacity is still within you. You're still intact. We are transforming their ugly experiences into beautiful scars. We just want to tell them, yes, you've been into prostitution, you've been there, yes, it's okay. You went through this, you were abused and exploited sexually. Yes, you exposed yourself to multiple, people and partners. But that one, there's something that they took from you, there's something that got lost at that point, but the real you is still intact. And you can do away with those, threads and uproot those patterns and still live again. And the capacity is still within. God has allowed you to live. The breath of God. I love what Job would say. Thy breath is still within my nostrils. Despite the loss, something is still intact within you. And that's what RTT is looking at. RTT is looking at what remained after all that stuff, after all that awful experience, after the rejection, the abandonment. There's still some breath within you, and that's what RTT is riding on, to take the breath, and help you heal and still empower you using the same capacity that God has given you to become somebody different. Kindly, if you have a heart for humanity, and you're listening to me, whether you're a corporate, you're a donor, you're a partner, wherever, an individual, whoever you are, and this story touches you, kindly, these people are sharing their number, like Stevian has shared a number. You can either engage us directly, or you can as well reach out to us, because we have climate change, programs that we are doing with them, like just telling them that, okay, this environment, this piece of land, or it's unproductive, it's dry, it is not useful at all. But we can transform it into something useful and productive. And when they get their hands into that and see themselves beautify a place that was once ugly, make it productive when it was not productive, that alone is sending a message to them. We use those activities, we use their talents, we empower them, we give them skills, we train them on this and that, so that they can realize that there's still something that is within them that is still intact. After they get healed, they can still now get inside of them and gain a skill and gain something and still find life again. So as they transform these places, they can also transform their minds into productive human beings and tools that can really be of benefit to the society, be of great benefit, and actually achieve their purposes for life. Will you help them just see the other side of life? Will you help them just realize that there's beauty in life? Will you help them actually change their scars and their wounds into beautiful scars? Will you just come in and say, I love you, in whichever way, to these people? We are so passionate at RTT, and we just want to give them an embrace that the world has never given them, because people have labeled them and have rejected them, have stigmatized them. But we want to go to those ones, because this is my beautiful scars. My beautiful scars is just about that, the shameful experiences and all that, and supporting people to come out of that self-pity and that pain and that feeling of I'm done, I'm broken, I can't recover, to that point of, yes, I'm healed and I can actually do all things and do them so well. So as you do that, as you partner with us, as you reach out to them and be of a blessing to them, even give them a meal, even 100 bob or whatever, just God bless you and do you good. So thank you so much for joining us. Keep it here for the next episode. We are still going to Dandora, and we are still doing another episode based in Dandora, and we will show you how the young men are navigating life in the downside. God bless you.